Dating Austrian men is like dating a fish.
Why is that?
Because they're boring. For a job that would take maybe like 10 minutes, how do people not have the time for 2 weeks?
I will not knock on his door to check if it's okay. I don't want to disturb. And then he's dead.
Hello everyone and welcome to the newest episode. Today we're in Vienna, Austria to find out what culture shocks foreigners experience while living and dating in Vienna. And I've got the local host, Louisa, to ask those questions to people on the street. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more on cultural differences as they relate to relationships. And leave a comment that helps increase engagement and helps the video perform better. Thank you guys, and onto the video.
Could you briefly introduce yourself, your name and where you're from?
Hello, I'm Parampara. I'm from India.
I'm Yuji Beleza. I'm originally from Japan. My mom is Irish, my dad's Japanese.
My name is Parichay Mehta. I'm from India.
My name's Bill. I'm from Ireland.
I'm Gabriel Maia, previously living in São Paulo.
I'm Julia from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
My name is Alexandra. I'm originally from Belarus.
I came to Vienna about 2.5 years ago.
3 years ago.
12 years.
Since January.
Last November.
Last 5 months.
So what were the biggest culture shocks that you experienced while living in Vienna?
The first one was Sunday, everything is shut. I come from a city where everything is open 24/7. Took a few weeks for me to get used to it because then the alarm goes off on Saturday. I need to stock up on a lot of things because I'm not going to get it till Monday.
Supermarkets not opening on Sunday. I had a couple of starving weekends because I was not prepared, and I was living in São Paulo where Sunday 10 p.m. I could go to the supermarket and everything works all the time.
Yeah.
But it also reflects how myself, I was working also a lot.
My biggest culture shock was for sure that the Austrians take their private life after work seriously, When they finish work, they, have their own time. They go out and do their hobbies, spend time with the family. And that's a really big difference to, Japan. So because in Japan, people tend to overwork.
Here, people around us has dogs. If I smile to that dog, the owner gonna look at me really mad. What makes no sense to me. In Rio, we apologize if our dog it's not cool to people that comes to talk to them. And here, people are so grumpy all the time.
Irish people are known for being warm. Austrian people, complete opposite. Very direct, which I like. I appreciate that they're very direct. But you get told off a lot for just doing simple stuff. I was in a bookshop and I was just reading a book and I got told off for reading the book. In Ireland, that would never happen.
My friends are coming to my wedding party and I'm really afraid to end up in a jail dressed like a bride. They're Brazilian and we have these chaotic party energy.
Because Austrians tend to be a little bit more strict about it.
About silence, we don't make problem, we just make noise. And noise here is a problem. Since I moved here, I changed. I'm not listening loud music, not even listening music. I became more silent, more quiet, more close, a little bit sad. In my neighborhood in Rio, in Santa Teresa, the street is really tight. And if you're listening music, your neighbor come and sing with you. And then you have the conversation from balcony to balcony. Some of them are musicians, so they have a guitar and everybody's singing in the balcony. And here is shh.
Back at home, you could just walk into a government office. The job would still not get done immediately, but you could go and get the process started. When I came to Vienna, I was like, okay, everything requires an appointment from opening a bank account. And the minimum period of waiting for that appointment is 2 weeks. It sounded really silly that for a job that would take maybe 10 minutes, how do people not have the time for 2 weeks? It got deeper when I got to know that even to meet your friends, you're supposed to have these appointments. I mean, friends are supposed to be people who you just call and say that, oh, come, let's catch up. But it didn't work that way over here.
What are the best and worst things about living in Vienna?
Best thing about Vienna, I would say, is the public transport because it's so amazing. I don't need to own a car to go around the city at all.
The best part about Vienna is that everything's close by, You can just go to any destination, pretty much in, less than 1 hour.
I don't think it really matters where you're from. You will always have a community here. It doesn't matter if you're Irish, English, Turkish, Croatian, Serbian, there will be a community of people from your country here, so I don't think you can possibly feel alone in the city.
The second best thing I would say is the green spaces because so many parks and so beautiful, well kept. Whenever I go to the park, I feel it's alive because there are so many families playing together, friends chilling.
I've written my thesis out of the park. That's how much I love the park life.
There's this respect for workers, for personal life and a bit more of boundaries.
The worst first thing I would say is the appointment culture.
Like to adapt on how people plan just leisure things way ahead. So like now they'll be planning like the next Thursday, so like 10 days in advance. So this is tough for me because back home we would do like plans like for the next 2 days or the next day, or I had a lot of days by myself.
You need to schedule appointments with a lot of people well in advance, even with your friends, because they are busy, so they're like, okay, I have time 10 days later, let's catch up. So that's something which doesn't fit with me yet.
Being able to afford a lot of things because of how expensive it is to live in Vienna in general.
The other thing that I don't like really is the food in Vienna. Obviously there are like lots of cuisines, lots of restaurants available, but somehow when I travel outside Vienna, I just feel there is so much better food.
I'm used to convenience stores in Japan which are open 24 hours. So shops here close 8 or 7, and this really sucks because if you want something to eat, when you're hungry at night, you can't go just to a shop. You just have to stay all night hungry.
I feel like I have the best kind of friends here, but the comfort of home where you just walk around and so many people, or at least people are smiling at you, people are continuously trying to help you out. I think that warmth, the social warmth, is missing here. I live in a building which has over 350 apartments and we don't know our neighbors. Our houses don't have doorbells, and the only time we interact with them is, like there's a Telegram group for the whole building. So if people have to complain about anything, if someone has somebody else's package, that's the only thing.
How would you describe Austrian mentality, specifically the Viennese mentality?
Chic, but weird.
Weird in what sense?
Socially, it's too polite. You can respect others' space, of course, but not on the point to die alone. I haven't seen my neighbor, he's an old guy, for a long time. I will not knock on his door to check if it's okay. I don't want to disturb. And then he's dead. In Brazil, it will never happen.
How would you describe Viennese or Austrian men? Very general.
Hipster, still maybe finishing his bachelor, master, without any kind of stable income. In Vienna, guys in general, they grow up in a later age. In my country, it's the other way around. When they're 30, they're already married, maybe have kids, have their own flat.
Have you ever dated an Austrian person? Mm-hmm. How did it go?
I think that back home in Brazil, people not always will ask so blunt questions. Like they will try to go around and try to get things through jokes and teasing more. And here sometimes there's a bit of trying to put in the boxes, getting the yes and no's, and trying to see how is the fit.
Well, I tried dating Austrians 2 times, and I realized that we are culturally very different and it would never work. For me, it was at least the case. Dating Austrian men is like dating a fish.
Why is that?
Because they're boring. They approach me when they're extremely drunk and it's not even possible to establish a conversation with them, or they just look and never come. And even when I take the initiative and I come to a guy and ask him, hey, I feel like I'm an entertainer. They just don't know how to communicate, I think.
Having a dinner or doing something more social and out of the blue and very bluntly, okay, let's go home. Back home feel like a bit of the magic of the process. Sometimes here is more objective.
In Belarus, women expect that a man will take responsibility for a lot of things, especially financial responsibility. In Austria, it's not the case. Austrian men expect it to be, when not 50-50, then at least depending on the salaries.
How has living in Austria changed you as a person?
I walk way more. I'm able to kind of go anywhere I want without a car, and it's great. In Ireland, you have to rely on a car. Here, you can go anywhere in Austria.
I would say I've become a more calm person because Vienna teaches you how to relax. When I was in Mumbai, the city never sleeps, the city never relaxes. It's always work, work, work. There is very blurred line between personal and professional life. And I think in Vienna, it's pretty stark difference that this is your personal life, this is your professional life, and you need to enjoy both of them separately and don't mix it.
I got stronger. I think it would never happen if Austria would not be that strict to me. Austria is in general very challenging country for immigrants, and also I think I became an achiever. Maybe all of the immigrants are achievers. When not per se, then they just become along the way, because otherwise it's just impossible to establish yourself in the new country. And I became also more tolerant towards people, also less judgmental in comparison to how I was when I was in Belarus.
Wow, as I said, Vienna is a very multi-ethnic, cultural city. You see so many different people here, and because of that I became more open-minded, and also I speak multiple languages. Not only German, but I learned Turkish here. I've never been to Turkey, but I speak Turkish, I speak Kurdish, I speak Ukrainian, I speak now Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian. So if you want to become a polyglot, just come to Vienna.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Unfortunately, I couldn't be in Vienna at this time. I was actually really close by in Barcelona filming a video, so make sure you tune in next week to check out the video on why it's difficult to find love in Barcelona. And if you're interested in meeting people and dating around the world, I have a set of guides that I have for 3 different countries now, but I can create more if you're interested, so let me know what country you would like to see. And I also have a podcast. Make sure you check that out. I'll see you guys next week with a new video, and as usual, keep breaking down your barriers.